This is 93 Million with Doug Andrew. Welcome to 93 Million with Doug Andrew, where we talk about how to optimize your assets, minimize taxes, and empower the three dimensions of your authentic wealth. My name is Greg Dukowitz, your host, facilitator, and IUL specialist. And in today's show, we're talking about the funny math and financial literacy, college savings, and can our panel answer three financial literacy questions? And we're joined by New York Times bestselling author, the pioneer of max-funded IUL, and the author of The Laser Fund, Doug Andrew.
Great to be here, as always.
Welcome, Doug. Good to have you. Co-author of The Laser Fund and a man who's a mad scientist when it comes to IUL, Emran Andrew.
Thank you. You've got me a little bit stressed out about these three questions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're gonna test your knowledge. Okay. A technician of IUL, also co-author of The Laser Fund, and a man who loves a great steak, Aaron Andrew.
Yes, I do. Happy to be here.
Welcome, Aaron. And our featured host for today, one of the greatest IUL specialists to ever live, and a man who has strong but gentle opinions, Brandon Johnson.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. Good to have you. Gentlemen, I'm excited for today, especially in the third segment, but let's just jump right in. Funny math. Does 14 times 5 equal 25? Well, according to Ma and Pa Kettle, it does, as shown in this highly sophisticated math presentation.
Oh, I love this video.
Yes, look, you're wrong there because I'll prove it to you. We'll put down five 14s here. 14. There. Now I'll prove to you by addition that 5 14s is not 25. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25. There you are. Better brush up, Billy. I don't want to see you boys cheated.
That's a great watch if you haven't seen the full clip. Ma, Pa Kettle, funny math.
Great.
Okay, well, according to the World Economic Forum, only about 50% of Americans are financially literate, according to a 28-question survey. 50%.
Ouch.
Survey respondents over a series of years were also asked to take a 3-question quiz. And when asked to assess themselves on how well they think they did versus how well they actually scored, respondents rated themselves 5.1 out of 7. So that's 73%. Okay. However, how they actually did, the actual scores were at about 28%.
Ooh,
Wow.
ouch.
That got all the questions. And stay tuned. We are going to actually ask these 3 questions to everyone here, to you listening and everyone here, to see how well you all do or don't do. But first, Doug, I want to start with you on this topic. Do you agree that financial literacy is a problem, and what should we be doing about it?
Absolutely. It has always amazed me, after being a financial strategist for north of 5 decades, how we spend so much time, energy, and money sending our kids to school, college, where hopefully they will learn how to go out and do what? Make a living, how to make money. And we do very little to teach them what to do with that money once they earn it. It's amazing how many college graduates that I have met that do not understand basic economics, money, compound interest, the impact of inflation, taxes. It's like I'm educating. In fact, I've had many who had MBAs that came to some of our educational seminars for hours, and they would come up and say, I learned more in 4 hours than I did getting my master's. And it was amazing as far as it related to finance. So I think it's a huge problem. In fact, I think in high school, there is hardly any finance classes now today.
Yeah.
And frankly, I stumped some of my children's finance professors in college, and my daughter did.
Why am I not surprised?
I think you experienced that with your daughter, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, we got to do something about it. This is really horrible in this wealthiest country in the world.
Yeah. Emran, is financial literacy a problem? What should we be doing about it?
You know, it is a problem. I mean, I remember when I jumped into this industry and started working under my dad, and it was, I think one of the biggest surprises that came to me is particularly in the area of taxes. Like most people do not understand taxes. They don't understand how taxes work on their money. I mean, they barely understand how taxes work on their own income. But it was surprising when I sat down with a lot of people and how many people were surprised to find out that their IRA or 401k, when they retired, they actually owe taxes on that money. I mean, it's like one of the biggest
It's
surprises.
amazing, right?
Like what?
Like,
Yeah.
wait, what? I owe tax? I have to pay taxes on this
they
money?
didn't. They just someone told them what to do a long time ago, and that's all they knew.
You know, people graduate from college, they go get a job somewhere, and they, they get introduced to something called a 401k, and they're like, well, what's that? You know, they go ask everybody, and nobody really knows what it is, but they're like, putting it away, it's a retirement account. Well, everybody's doing it, so I might as well do it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's amazing because hardly anybody actually addresses that account until they get into their 50s and beyond, until they're like, wait a minute, I guess I better start paying attention, seeing what this is.
So true.
I mean, and it's just so financial literacy seems to pick up as you get closer to retirement.
Yeah.
But by then it's late. You're playing catch up.
Well, because people take ownership and they take interest in their ownership, right? So when you get closer to retirement, you start to go, okay, I need to take ownership of
urgency,
because it's
right?
urgent. Yeah.
'Cause it's now urgent. I mean, retirement's always there. It's always necessary, but it's just not urgent. Now it's both necessary and urgent. So now you start paying attention to it.
That's a good point. Aaron.
Well, makes me think of I meet with a lot of clients, of a lot of people that come to us that are very specialists in their field.
Yes.
You know, we're talking like attorneys, doctors, engineers.
Yep.
You know, people that are super savvy in their field and they, are specialists, but they have no idea about finances or about saving for retirement or these simple things.
Yeah.
Or just let's take another, side trip with that is like people get a tax refund. They're so happy they get this huge tax refund.
Right.
Especially like a W-2 employee, just like it's pretty simple, their tax situation.
They think it's a bonus.
And they're like, oh, I got a tax refund. I get all this money
woohoo,
back.
I
And
got
it's
a
like,
bonus.
all you're doing is overpaying your taxes, you guys.
Yeah.
You pay
And
too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're paying too much, you get it back. It's like, you just paid too much tax and it was a forced savings, yes, but it's like no interest on that money, nothing, and they pay back later. It's people really understand that. It's like, wow. So people just don't understand finance, don't understand money.
Yes.
And we really need to educate people better, especially when you're making good money and you can save. You need to understand, because I have people making $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 and they can't save anything.
Yeah,
That's scary when people are making a lot of money and they don't save.
My high school daughter was trying to fill out this financial worksheet for her this financial literacy class she took in high school. It was just an elective class, like you said, Doug. They don't, some high schools don't even offer it. But the teacher just had these kind of worksheets and they didn't even understand them. And finally, my daughter goes to me and goes, Dad, what's interest? Like it was just, she didn't even have that basic understanding of what is interest, right? And what does it mean? And so it's just fascinating. Brandon, what are your final thoughts? Wrap us up on this subject.
Yeah, I would have loved the experience as a kid in elementary school or middle school to, start the school year, pick some stocks, pick, a group of stocks, follow them throughout the year. It would have been exciting to see like, oh my gosh, like my accounts are up, the value that started here, I'm this much up or I'm this down. So kids, they need to understand like how money works, investing money, that like you can grow your money, how it works, how that's taxed, how inflation will impact that in the future. These are things that they don't discuss in school much at all. So I think to get like kids and youth excited about the market and growing money and investing money and how it works, it's something that we've really missed out on our educational platform. Looking back, and I know my kids that are coming up through the school ranks, they have not, gone through any of that at school. And
Thank heavens for YouTube, though. Like some kids are really learning a lot
That's
and
a good
starting
point.
businesses at young ages and understanding money and stocks because they can learn so much online.
I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to incorporate. I mean, how many of you got like the stupid word questions in math? It had no relevancy to anything you're ever going to experience in life ever.
Right. Yes.
Just redo those word questions in math that include real life money, interest, taxes,
buying a car, buying a house,
and just incorporate that where you have to calculate.
So be part of the math curriculum.
Compound interest, right?
Marginal versus
great.
effective
Just
tax
incorporate
rate.
Yes, tax rates.
They're normal math classes.
Yeah, interest and tax rates, and just kind of and compound versus simple and all that kind of
kids
stuff.
would finally be like, "Oh, math actually means something," right? Rather than saying like, "This is so dumb."
Calculate how much money would you have if you had this much interest and this much in fees. And
all right, Emran, that is such a good idea.
That's a really
it needs to be put forward
Okay.
somewhere.
It doesn't leave this room. That's our idea, okay? It doesn't leave this room. All right. Well, coming up, can you and this panel answer 3 basic financial literacy questions? But first, just a reminder that if you're enjoying this content and you want to see more of it, please like and subscribe and ask us a question or comment. We may use it in one of our next shows. College savings. Does IUL work? Indexed Universal Life, or IUL, has become increasingly more popular for things like college savings. According to a Smart Asset article, the advantages of IUL include versatility, high potential returns, and tax benefits. But does IUL really work versus something like a 529 plan or just, socking away money in the bank? Emran, let's start with you on this one.
Yeah, I think the best way to do it is let's pull up even an example. I throw up an example. I've got it on the wisdom table.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to the wisdom table and take a look at this.
Great.
So I kind of tried to create a couple of different scenarios here. One I pull up right here. Let's say you're younger. You get started right here. We're gonna get started even at age 30.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
And even at age 30, you're stocking away $500 a month. Okay. Instead of putting $500 a month towards a 529 plan, we're gonna go ahead. Right here. Let's just zoom in right there.
Perfect.
Right there. Okay. So you're putting in $6,000 a year there.
Okay.
Okay. You've got the S&P 500 here versus like in this column right here. This is going to be the gross account value right here of the IUL.
Example IUL. Okay, great.
There's the IUL balance.
This is the liquidity column of
Okay.
the IUL as well. And heaven forbid if something were to happen to you, the kids get a nice, you get a nice death benefit that would take care of college 10 times over again.
Tax free.
Right.
Yep. So as you come down on these, what we're going to do is they're saving from age 30. If you're saving, let's say by the time you get to age 47, okay, that's about almost when I am going to be sending my son to college, for example, at 47 years of age.
Yep.
You got to send your first kid. Let's go ahead and say, tuition $15,000.
Yeah.
Typical tuition right now, if in state, is about $11,000, $12,000 a year. If you're out of state, it's $30,000 a year. But let's say you got a couple of kids. Right. In this situation, I did 3 kids, and you got a couple of them overlapping. So you got one kid in college for 2 years. Then you add a second kid. So you got $30,000 you're going to need for 2 years. Then the one kid, your oldest kid leaves, but then your next kid comes in. So you got another $30,000. So, I mean, you're putting in, you're taking out, in this example right here, you're going to take out $200,000.
Wow.
Okay. $210,000. Now, normally that would decimate your account. Because if you take a look right here, when I started this, I started this right here at 200,000. When I started taking out money,
Right.
I have 224,000.
So if you just had a bank account earning, practically nothing, this would be struggling.
I mean, you're just gonna be running out.
right?
Yeah.
And then you get down here, you've been able to take out all of the money here. The kids are finally done. Okay, you're not gonna keep on going towards retirement. Now, typically, in a 529 plan or anything like that, your 529 plan is maybe being covered. It's maybe exhausted. But what happened to your retirement savings?
Yeah.
You're behind
done.
the game.
Yeah.
Right.
You're behind the game.
Right.
Because
You
you
know?
just stayed for the college.
Yeah.
And right here, as Aaron always likes to point out, okay, I still actually have almost my $200,000 in there. Why? Because of the miracle of compound interest. So I've got almost $200,000 in this account. But more importantly than that, my money that I pulled out for the college is still working for me.
Yeah, because
Wow.
with IUL, you guys, what's powerful is you take loans. How you access money. You need to read the Laser Fund and look at chapter 8 of the book. We talk about the sad way, the smart way, and the dumb way to get our money out of the IUL.
Yeah.
And again, the smart way, you guys, is loans. And the loans are powerful. You have to watch some of our other segments.
Yeah, because usually it's a negative word, right? So you hear loan and
It's
you
like,
think
oh,
negative.
loan, I got to pay interest.
But in this case, it's one of the benefits. It's one of the really unique things about
Because we can
IUL.
borrow like at 5% against the policy while the cash value, the money's still in there. You didn't withdraw it, you borrowed against it. So
you're
the money is still in there.
It's still earning interest, the full balance, as if you never took that money out.
So that money's earning 7, 8, 9% as an example. You borrow against it at 5. That's better than withdrawing the money
Wow.
and paying taxes. You take it out tax free, and the money's still in there earning
Because
interest.
you're still earning an arbitrage on that money. And you could pay it back, right? But if you didn't, that's what Emran is showing here on the board here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what are you showing down
you
there?
You got college all the way paid for. And then by the time, like Aaron's talking about here, you get to age 70, and now you still have $1.5 million working for you. Okay. Right here, you got $1.5 million working for you.
Because it's your gross account value. You borrowed against it, but your money's still growing.
and then you've got access to almost $1 million, but you're earning interest. This is what you're earning interest on. You're earning interest on $1.5 million. You've got access to $930,000, but then because of the whole 1.5 is working for you, you could enjoy in an IUL, you could enjoy that $120,000. Sorry, we kind of washed that out a little bit.
120K tax free.
$120,000 a year, 10 grand a month tax free.
Wow.
And that just goes. I mean, that just goes. It just goes all the way down to age 100. And you still got $8 million left in your account.
Yeah.
I mean, and even if you're older, oops, where'd that just go? Okay, and if you're older, let's say you've got $300,000 that you've got socked away, your kid gets there. Typically, and this is what I mostly see, you get a 50-year-old that's like, crap, I've got 3 kids, they've got to go to college, I'm just going to have to cash in this $300,000.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, instead, we're going to keep the $300,000 and we're going to keep on socking away for the retirement at $30,000 a year. But because I can roll that $300,000 into the IUL, and even right here, year 2, right there in year 2, I start taking out the income. I start taking out loans to pay for college. $25,000 a year. $25,000 a year. Increase it to $50,000 a year. So in this situation here, we're still going to take out. We're going to take out $300,000 over the course of those 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, 8 years.
Wow.
Okay, so we take out $300,000. Normally, that's all you got. You've wiped out your $300,000. All you got trying to work for your retirement is that $30,000 a year. But here, just like Aaron mentioned earlier, here, this money's still working for you. So you still have $774,000 in your account working for you, even though you might only have access to $387,000.
Right.
But the whole $774,000 is working for you. So you keep on going. So you don't lose a beat. So yeah, you might have paid in $930,000. You've got in actually as I come down in here. Let's just try to pull this up a little bit. We get all the way down here to retirement. So by the time we hit retirement right here, now again, you've got, where is it? We've got $3.2 million working for us.
Wow.
You got $2.5 million that you have access to because that it's grown to that 2.5. It's grown so much because I haven't lost the ability to keep on earning that compound interest. And then you pull out retirement income of $180,000. I mean, most people, when they have to cash in that $300,000 and start over again, I mean, they're going to be lucky to be half as good as this when they hit retirement.
Yeah.
Maybe be able to squeak by with $90,000 a year. This is going to be able to allow you to pull out $180,000 a year for the rest of your life and never run out. And in fact, I mean, it just keeps on compounding and growing. And that is something a 529 just cannot do.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a lot of people, we talk about literacy.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't quite grasp. Well, why would you borrow if you have the money?
Right.
Yeah. But if you're borrowing at a lower rate, first of all, loan proceeds are tax free. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they're not due and payable during your lifetime. But if you're borrowing at a lower rate, like 5%, and you keep earning 7, 8, 9, or 10%, versus if Emron had been withdrawing the money instead of borrowing it, he would not have been able to have near the income down the road in that illustration.
Yeah.
There's 2 other points. 529 plans lack flexibility. In other words, you can tax deduct what you put into them, and you use it tax-free if what? If it's used for college tuition, things like that. They're making it a little bit looser, but I've had many clients whose children, grandchildren, they've been saving in 529 plans, and they get scholarships. They don't need the 529 money for college.
Right.
They want to use that money for a down payment on a home or to start a business. If they do, it's taxable now.
Right.
Whereas the IUL, it's tax-free no matter how they use the money. And again, if you pass away, it's self-completing. It blossoms and transfers tax-free in a death benefit.
Right.
So that's why I say, why would you mess around with a 529 plan with all the strings attached when you can have all the benefits and a whole bunch more using a max-funded IUL?
Yeah, there's a lot of strings attached. And I think they are trying to get a little bit better. Brandon, wrap us up on this topic. What are your thoughts?
Along the lines, I mean, I have clients who they have kids where, maybe their kids want to be entrepreneurs, right? Just like what Doug's saying. And maybe they want to go out and buy real estate. And so when you play around with the 529, you got to play by the rules of
Right.
the federal government, just
Yeah.
like any qualified plan. So whatever they say qualifies you to access that money, what you can use it for. And so when you're using a max funded IUL and structured the way that Emran just showed us, if your kid wants to take a different path, whether it's through some kind of trade school or just being an entrepreneur and school is not for them, you have access to this money and say, hey, go start a business, go buy some real estate, get some assets and start growing money, right? And so this type of plan gives you so much more flexibility. And I love the fact that Emran didn't even show repaying those loans, but I have lots of clients who've set these up for their kids to pay for tuition. And then they said, show me actually paying the loan back.
Yeah.
Even though I know I can or can't, if I don't want to, I
Right.
can pay as much back or as little back.
That's a great point.
There's no
Put money
phone
back
call.
in
There's
there.
no phone call.
You can pay it back.
You're not getting a
Yeah.
phone call or letter from the bank or somebody that's saying at the end of the month, if you don't pay, we're going to charge
Right,
you.
right.
You're going to get, you're going to get calls from collections. It's up to them at their discretion how much
Yeah.
they want to pay back to their own retirement plan.
It's
So that
awesome.
plan you were showing that was like $180,000. If they paid that loan back to themselves, they could be taking a $300,000 or a $280,000 tax-free loan.
I had a client take out, and they took out over $500,000 putting their kid through med school.
Wow.
And instead of the kid, and now he's paid it all back to it, but he is so much happier knowing that he's paying interest to his mom and dad
Right.
rather than
Versus
just whatever
student loans.
Yeah.
some billionaire getting rich off of his interest.
Right.
He's like, why not? And his mom and dad haven't skipped a beat retirement wise. They didn't suffer for retirement. The money was out of there for a while, but they didn't lose the ability to earn interest on that money while it's gone.
Yeah.
And he paid them back with interest.
Yeah.
No phone call from the insurance company at the end of the month if they don't want
Yeah.
to pay anything back that month. It's
You know
just-
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Flexible.
Yeah, like Brandon said, if they don't pay it back, if they pay it back, but if they don't use it for college, how is college as valuable or necessary as it was 30 to 40 years ago?
I would say everybody, listen,
Studies show
audience, what do you guys think? I would say no.
Yeah, put it in the comments, by the
Yeah.
way. We would love to know your opinion. Do you think college is as valuable or necessary as it was in years past,
You're going to be
decades
an
past?
engineer or a doctor, then yes. If not, like
Yeah.
if you're in business, like,
Probably depends, right?
there are so many master courses like YouTube and just listen, not to take anything away from, there's great educators and teachers out there, but you can learn a lot nowadays with what's accessible through AI, through, just online
Internet
YouTube,
stuff.
In fact, a
Right.
lot of
Yeah.
medical technology and other technology. In 10 years, what you learned in college, the data, information, and knowledge is sort of obsolete.
Yeah.
It's out
Right.
of date.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget when Ross Perot was
Yeah.
asked to speak
I love this
to the
story.
graduating class at Harvard, and he asked all the C students to stand up, and they stood up with their heads hung down. And he says, okay, sit down. He said, now all you A students stand up. And they stood up and stuck their chest out. He said, okay, sit down. He said, now I want you A students to take a real good look at those C students, because they're the ones you're probably going to be working for. Okay. And then he
Love
said,
that.
and he never got invited back because he says, you don't learn a blankety blank thing until you get out of college. Okay. Anyway, it's becoming
So
more and
great.
more true.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
No, it's so true. I've always told kids ask me oftentimes, what's your secret to getting ahead?
Yeah.
I'm like, find a good mentor. Even in medical school, you can learn a lot in medical school, but you really learn the most when you get behind and watch the surgeon in front
Right.
of you. I mean, I had the blessing of having a mentor, my own dad.
Yep.
I mean, anywhere else, you get into anything, any specialty, anything,
So true.
you're going to learn a lot better when you get a hold of a good mentor.
Yeah.
A good mentor means is worth way more.
Yeah.
Way more.
Good point. Okay, well, coming up, can you and our panel answer the 3-question financial quiz? But first, if you're enjoying this content and are wondering how to take advantage of these ideas, Laser Financial helps individuals and families like yours implement proven strategies to grow and protect your wealth. One of the most powerful tools is an indexed universal life policy, or IUL. It's not just insurance, it's a tax-free retirement strategy, a way to grow your money with compound interest and a safety net against market downturns. Imagine being protected from market losses while still participating when the market goes up and having tax-free income that allows you to keep more of what you've worked so hard to save. Go to laserfinancial.com or call 801-505-0409 to schedule a free consultation and see how these strategies can work for you. That's laserfinancial.com or call 801-505-0409. Don't wait. Take the first step toward a brighter, more secure financial future today. Are you a financial professional wondering how you can expand your business working with IUL? Are you leveraging IUL to its full potential? That's where IUL Insiders comes in. In the upcoming weeks, they're hosting the IUL Challenge. It's a free 3-day event designed specifically for financial professionals to help you build a thriving, scalable business that sets you apart from the competition. You'll learn proven strategies to market, design, and sell properly structured policies that deliver incredible results for your clients and for your bottom line. If you're ready to evaluate your practice and scale your business, visit IULchallenge.com/93 to save your seat. Spots are limited, so don't wait. That's IULchallenge.com/93. Take your business to the next level. The 3-question quiz. Gentlemen, can you answer, you at watching this as well, can you answer this simple 3-question quiz that only under 30%, I think it was 28% of respondents could get all 3 questions,
But
okay?
only 30%, 28% get it right, and most
Correct.
thought they got it right.
Correct. So 28% got a question wrong,
Yeah.
but 73% thought they got them right.
Okay,
Okay?
got it.
As I interpret the data, that's kind of what it showed. Okay, and the article. All right, according to this is the earlier survey we referenced. So can you answer these 3 financial literacy questions? Okay, they call these the big 3. Are you ready? Question number 1. And by the way, if you're watching, listening to this, put it in the chat. What's your honest assessment of yourself after these 3 questions, okay? Put it in the chat. What did you get versus kind of what you thought? We'll see how you do, okay? All right. Question number 1. Suppose you had $100 in a savings account and the interest rate was 2% per year. After 5 years, how much do you think you would have in the account if you left the money to grow? Okay, now before you start pulling out your abacus, here's the multiple choice questions, okay? Is it more than $102, exactly $102, or less than $102? Aaron, what's your answer?
Okay, everybody watching, think about what you want to put there. I'm
Yes.
going to say the top answer, okay? This is pretty easy. but
Okay.
again, we deal with numbers all day. If you don't deal with
Right.
numbers, it's okay if you don't get it right. But you think about it, you guys, it's going to be tricky, but it's like, well, yeah, $2% on $100 is $2.
Right.
But that's 1 year.
That's just 1 year because it
per
says
year.
per year, right?
Yeah. So per year. So after 5 years,
Yeah.
okay, we're going to have, if we just use simple interest, keep
Simple
it simple, you guys,
interest,
it'd be $2 a year for 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'd
So-
have at least $110 with simple
Yeah.
interest.
It was simple interest. But you guys, compound interest, go back and watch which episode you guys learned about 93 million.
Yes.
Episode 1.
Episode number
Compound interest, episode
Okay.
1, first segment.
Yeah, to
Compound.
learn about why is our name 93 million. Go
Yeah.
back and watch the first one. You
We'll,
can-
we'll do it again in a future segment as well. So
yeah, so learn about compound interest, but it would actually be more than 110 because the next year now you earn 2% on $102.
Yep.
Then the next year 2% on 100 on that next number. So compound interest, you guys. But yes, that's those multiple questions there. It's pretty easy at the top one there.
Yeah, I asked this question to someone in our office, and he said, "Well, wait a minute, is it compound interest or simple interest?" And I said, "It doesn't matter. Here's the
Look at the
here's the answers."
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. Question number 2. Imagine that the interest rate on your savings account was 1% per year, and inflation was 2% per year. After 1 year with the money in the account, would you be able to buy more than today, exactly the same, or less than today? Doug, help us understand the heart of this question.
Uh-oh, where's your abacus? Where's your abacus?
Okay. No, let me see here. I am rowing upstream at the rate of 1 mile an hour.
That's a good
Is this a riddle?
This is a good.
Is this a riddle?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a good analogy.
I'm
I like
rowing upstream at the rate of 1 mile an hour, but the river, the current of inflation is coming against me at 2 miles an hour.
That's right. So inflation would be the 2 miles an hour in this
I'm
example.
going
going
backwards.
backwards.
Okay.
Right.
So I would have less than today purchasing power.
That's right.
Okay.
Exactly right.
You got to paddle harder.
Yeah, that's right. It's amazing how people sometimes don't understand this, or they don't understand percentages.
Right.
Emran, if you'll bring up the wisdom table there. What's interesting to me is that inflation, you have to earn a rate of return greater than inflation if you're going to get ahead. You have to outpace inflation. Otherwise, you're actually losing ground. This chart is one that started back in 1981. Now, I started in 1974. I told you how old I am, right? And Jimmy Carter came in, and we hit double-digit inflation. 1980, okay. I remember when inflation was 10. What was I earning? I was earning 15.5% on my universal life. I was outpacing inflation. And so the government, they felt like they could not afford to pay Social Security recipients the true cost of living increase, okay? That's called the COI, okay? Cost of COL, cost of living increase.
Yeah.
And so this is the inflation rate. So the red is what the government decided to report as the cost of living increase, because they changed comparing like apples to apples from apples to oranges. The same basket of goods and services was not compared. For example, they could compare the price of an 8-ounce filet mignon steak last year to 8 ounces of hamburger this year.
Right, the same
which is
category.
ridiculous, okay?
Yeah.
The true inflation rate is shown in the blue. That's over from 1981 clear to 2021. That's 40 years. Okay.
Wow.
Move to the next one. That shows from the turn of the century. The reported inflation rate, which the government gives Social Security recipients, is in the red. The true rate of inflation is in the blue. So, for example, COVID-19 inflation. The government came out and said, we're giving Social Security recipients 9.2% increase. Look how great we are. And I said, people are going to the gas pump. They're looking at used cars and eggs, and they know inflation is not 9%.
Yeah.
Some of that, I mean, it's ridiculous. It was actually triple that. So here's how you calculate inflation. You simply use the rule of 72. Now, most people think of the rule of 72. You take an interest rate that you're earning on your money. You divide that into the number 72, and that would tell you how many years it takes to double your money. That's not adding monthly payments. So if you started out with $100,000 and you were earning 10% interest, your money will double to $200,000 in 7.2 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
And so you can use the same equation to calculate the impact of inflation. So here on the screen, if inflation was 5%, you divide 5 into 72 and you get actually 14.4, I believe. You just rounded 15. The cost of living is going to double in 15 years. But inflation the last few years has really been more like 10, 12, 15%. At 10%, it doubles every 7.2 years. What does that mean? If you could get by on $4,000 a month today, okay, in 7.2 years, you're going to need $8,000 a month to buy the same gallons of gas, loaves of bread, prescriptions, golf green fees, haircuts that you used to be able to buy for $4,000. It's going to cost you $8,000. Or another way to look at it, $4,000 only has now the $2,000 purchasing power that you had 7.2 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's how you calculate the impact of inflation.
Okay. All right. Well, other than that, he doesn't feel very strongly about it. All right.
How much do haircuts cost these days?
That Brandon really wants to know. Okay, Brandon, are you ready? This is your question. All right. Question number 3 for those out here keeping count. Do you think the following statement is true or false?
Okay, buying 50% chance here.
Yeah, you got good odds, Brandon. Buying a single company stock usually provides a safer return than a stock mutual fund. Brandon, what is your answer?
I'm going to lock in D. I'm going to refuse to answer.
Isn't that funny? That's actually an answer on there. There's don't know and then D, refuse to answer. Like somebody knows the answer, but they're just not going to tell the respondent survey.
That's my Fifth Amendment right.
I'll help you out, okay?
I've got this. Okay.
All right, break it down for us.
Fundamentally, when it comes to investing money, you're safer if you can invest in where you've got multiple equities or stocks or companies rather than picking just one.
Right.
If that one company goes under, and all your eggs are in that basket, you're
Yeah.
in big trouble, right?
Right.
Now, if you can diversify amongst many companies, okay, so as people think of the S&P 500, right? That's something that our clients utilize a lot in our vehicles, our financial vehicles. However, in mutual funds, it's typically anywhere from 20 to 100 companies or equities.
Okay.
And it might be a group of like equities, bonds, and commodities. And so that you're really diversified, you're safer. So the answer would be false.
Yeah, so it's like saying is it safer to put all your eggs in one basket,
Right.
or to diversify them across 20 to 100 baskets? That's kind of the question, right? According to what you said.
Yeah. And it's not just like food or electronics or machinery or oil.
Right.
It's all of them.
Yeah.
So-
industries.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all kinds of industries.
Diversified.
Yeah. Okay.
Diversification.
All right. Well, that's great. Hey, put it in the chat in the comments. How did you do on the quiz? Did you get all three? Just be honest. We would love to know. We'd be very curious. Put it in the comments. How did you do on the three questions? All right.
If it was too easy for everybody, we can come up with some hard ones.
Yeah, that's right.
Evan's got a quiz he does.
We've
for
got a
guys.
quiz for financial professionals that we want to give everybody in a little bit. Okay, well, and that's a future segment. Okay, again, if you're wondering how to take advantage of these ideas, visit laserfinancial.com to learn more. Or if you're a financial professional and you'd like to participate in our upcoming 3-day challenge, IUL challenge, visit iulchallenge.com/93. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Stay financially literate. 5 times 14 does not equal 25. Be safe out there, and we'll see you next time on 93 Million. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.